Welcome to the Just Nuke It podcast.
Oh, yeah.
This week,
It could be a good one.
we're launching an apocalyptic probe into not one,
Oh, no.
but two pulse-pounding flash fiction stories
Oh, wow.
that throw everyday people like you and me
Oh, my gosh.
into crazy end-of-the-world
Oh,
situations.
my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, forget the usual doom and gloom, right?
Right, right.
These tales are like a roller coaster of action.
Yeah.
You've got these unexpected heroes popping up left and right,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you might even get a chuckle or two amidst the chaos.
Totally.
So are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Because we're about to take your ears on a blockbuster journey.
All right.
Don't forget to rate and follow the show for more captivating stories from the Just Nuke It podcast.
That's right.
So what's fascinating to me right from the get-go with these flash fiction stories
Yeah.
is how they take these, well-worn ideas like, oh, the hero past his prime,
But, yeah.
or the zombie apocalypse, which we've all seen a million times,
Yeah.
and they twist them. They show us these fresh angles, right?
Totally. It's like you think you know
Yeah.
how these things are going to go, but then, bam, curveball.
Right, right.
Keeps you on your toes.
It really makes you think, where does that courage, that ingenuity come from when everything's gone sideways?
You never know, right?
Yeah.
Could be the quiet guy in the corner. Could be the grandma next door.
Exactly.
That's what I love about these stories.
So let's just dive right in
Let's do it.
to our first apocalyptic probe.
All right.
This one's centered around a flash fiction story called The Curse of Xibalba.
Ooh, that sounds ominous.
Oh, it is.
I like it.
This one hooked me immediately with how bold it is. Okay, picture this.
All right, pictures.
Zorro, that iconic swashbuckler, right?
Yeah.
But he's not fighting some corrupt official. He's up against a full-blown supernatural Mayan god of death.
Whoa, hold on. That's a serious step up.
Oh, yeah. And here's the twist.
Yummy.
He needs the help of a group of misfit kids to take this thing down.
Oh, I love it already. The old master and the young apprentices, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's your initial take on that kind of setup?
Well, it's brilliant. You take this legend, Don Diego de la Vega, right? The guy's a master swordsman, cunning as a fox.
Right.
But then you drop him into a situation where those skills, while still useful, they're just not enough.
Right.
And for you listening, it raises a huge question. How do even the most skilled among us adapt when the enemy is something we can barely even comprehend?
Right. And the story does such an amazing job of painting this picture of Don Diego's hacienda, like it's literally crumbling around him.
Oh, wow.
This earthquake hits, and it's not just a normal earthquake, right? It's like the earth is groaning, like it's signaling the return of something ancient, something evil.
That's intense.
Oh, and the backstory. It's seriously creepy. We're talking about a family curse, all stemming from this ancestor who was driven by greed and decided to loot a Mayan tomb.
Oh, no. Never a good idea to mess with ancient burial grounds.
Never. And now you've got blood seeping from the walls, skeletal figures lurking around.
Okay, now you're just trying to scare me.
It's seriously spooky. What does that kind of legacy, that weight of past wrongdoings, bring to the story, from a thematic standpoint?
Well, it adds a layer of moral complexity, right? It's not just some random monster popping up for no reason. It suggests that we're all connected to the actions of those who came before us, in a way responsible for them.
I see, yeah.
It's like this ripple effect through time.
Yeah.
So it becomes more than just a physical threat. It's this spiritual reckoning.
Right. And at first, Zorro, he's trying to deal with it in his classic way, right? The sword, the whip.
Of course, that's his go-to.
But these things he's up against, they're not your average bad guys. There's this feeling of despair, like a soul-crushing despair that they bring with them.
So it's like a psychological attack as well.
Yeah, it's like they attack your spirit. But even in the face of that, facing something that seems impossible to fight, Zorro's sense of justice, that core of who he is, it doesn't waver.
It's like his moral compass is just unbreakable.
Exactly. What does that unwavering commitment to justice, even when facing the impossible, tell you about Zorro and maybe even about us as people?
Well, it's what makes Zorro such an enduring character, right? He represents that deep down human desire for good to triumph, no matter how bad things get.
Oh, yeah.
And for you listening, it makes you think, what are those principles that you would cling to no matter what chaos is happening around you?
And then we get to meet this fantastic, unexpected group of allies.
Ooh, tell me more.
A bunch of orphans that Diego has taken in. First, you've got Santiago. He's this young inventor, just bursting with curiosity, constantly building little clockwork gadgets.
Oh, I love that. The
Yeah,
kid's like a mini Da Vinci in the middle of all this mayhem.
exactly. What does a character like Santiago bring to this dark, supernatural story?
He represents human ingenuity, practical skills.
Mm.
In a world suddenly facing this ancient evil, someone who can create, someone who can adapt,
Yeah.
that's incredibly valuable. It's like he's saying, hey, even when things seem impossible, we can still use our brains and our hands to fight back.
That's so true. Then there's Anna, this fearless tomboy, pure wildcat spirit. She's always running around with her slingshot. You just know she's not going to be intimidated by anything or anyone.
Oh, I like her already. The spunky one, always ready for action.
Exactly. What kind of dynamic does someone like Anna bring to the group?
She's all about that raw courage, that instinct to just jump in and do what needs to be done.
Mm.
And her slingshot becomes this symbol of making do with what you have, you know? You don't always need fancy weapons to be a hero.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then we have Raphael. He's the quiet, observant one, and he starts having these visions. It's not clear at first if they're glimpses into the future or something else entirely. And Zorro, he kind of brushes them off, thinking it's just a kid's imagination running wild after all the trauma.
Ah, I see. So the wise old mentor doesn't necessarily have all the answers.
Exactly. What's interesting about Zorro initially dismissing those visions?
Well, it shows how easy it is to overlook the insights of those we might see as less experienced or less rational. And it also challenges Zorro's worldview, right? He's used to dealing with things he can see and touch, but Raphael's visions are tapping into something beyond that.
Right. But then the earthquake reveals these ancient Mayan murals, and Raphael can surprisingly interpret them. That's when the scale of the threat becomes horrifyingly clear.
Oh, wow. So the kid holds the key to understanding this ancient evil.
Exactly. We learn about Xibalba, this incredibly powerful Mayan god of death, and that his return isn't just a local problem, it's a potential apocalypse.
Oh no, stakes just got way higher.
Oh, yeah. And the key to stopping him, it's his heart, which was sealed away ages ago. This is when Zorro realizes he needs these kids, especially Raphael, more than he could have ever imagined.
Let's get the classic unlikely heroes trope, but with this added layer of ancient knowledge and prophecy.
Totally. What does this shift in Zorro's perspective, going from dismissing the kids to realizing he needs them, what does that say to you?
It highlights the importance of respecting and valuing different perspectives. Zorro, the experienced warrior, has to acknowledge that he doesn't have all the answers, that he needs the unique insights of these children to succeed. It's a beautiful reminder that wisdom can come from unexpected sources.
Absolutely. And their quest takes them into these creepy, forgotten tunnels beneath the hacienda.
Oh no, I'm already getting claustrophobic.
They even stumble across the skeletons of conquistadors still in their armor, victims of the curse from centuries past.
Ooh, that's chilling. Talk about a reminder of the stakes.
Right. And it's amazing to see how the kids adapt to this scary environment. Santiago, he turns his little clockwork inventions into makeshift wards against the supernatural.
I love it. The kid's using his tinkering skills to fight an ancient god.
It's incredible. What do you think is the significance of these everyday objects taking on this protective role?
Well, it speaks to human ingenuity, our ability to adapt and repurpose things for new challenges. Even if the wards don't have any real magical power, the belief, the ingenuity behind them, that's what matters. It shows that even in the face of the unimaginable, we can still use our minds and our hands to find a way.
And Anna, our fearless slingshot expert, she's now armed with silver crosses blessed by the local priest.
Oh, wow. A blend of faith and firepower. I like it.
Right. What does that detail tell you about how they're approaching this fight?
It shows that they're not afraid to draw on every resource available to them, combining traditional beliefs with practical solutions. They're facing this ancient Mayan god, but they're also incorporating elements of their own Spanish Catholic faith. It's a reminder that in times of crisis, we often draw strength from a variety of sources.
Exactly. Now, the confrontation in the cavern, it sounds incredibly intense. You've got this treacherous gold scattered everywhere, tempting and dangerous. And then Xibalba himself appears.
Oh boy, this is it.
He's this terrifying skeletal figure, feeding on fear and the need for sacrifice. And here comes a major twist. Raphael's visions, they weren't just random glimpses. He's been an unwitting channel for Xibalba's whispers all along.
Whoa, hold on. So the kid's been manipulated by the very god they're trying to defeat. That's messed up.
I know, right? How does that twist change your understanding of Raphael's role in all this?
It adds this tragic element to his character. He's not just a chosen one, he's been used by the enemy, which makes the threat even more insidious. And it makes you think about the nature of influence, how easily we can be swayed by forces we don't even realize are at work.
It's a great point. But then Santiago, in a moment of pure brilliance, unveils his latest invention. It's this clockwork beetle that emits this horrible, ear-splitting, discordant music.
Oh, wow. That's creative.
It's not a weapon in the traditional sense, but it's enough to disrupt Xibalba's concentration, to break his hold on Raphael.
So they're fighting this ancient god of death with noise. That's awesome.
What do you think is the power in that kind of unexpected attack?
It shows that there's always a way to fight back, even if it means thinking outside the box. It suggests that even beings from another realm might have vulnerabilities we wouldn't typically consider. And it reminds us that sometimes the most effective solutions are the ones we least expect.
And Anna, our fearless slingshot expert, she doesn't miss a beat. She fires a silver cross, and it hits Xibalba's heart, shattering it.
Yes.
Go, Anna.
The god roars, the ground trembles, and then the unnatural power just vanishes. It's a classic underdog victory, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's David versus Goliath, but with a supernatural twist. It shows that even the most powerful evil can be defeated with courage, quick thinking, and maybe a little bit of faith.
Exactly. The story doesn't end with everything neatly tied up, though. The hacienda is in ruins, and Raphael is, understandably, traumatized by everything that's happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. Poor kid. But there's this sense of hope for Zorro. He realizes he might not be the only hero this changed world needs. With these resourceful kids, they can become something new, something more.
It's like the passing of the torch. A new generation of heroes rising up to meet new challenges.
What's the key takeaway for you from this ending?
It's about recognizing that heroism can take many forms, and that sometimes the most unexpected people can rise to the occasion. It's about mentorship, about seeing the potential in others and nurturing it. And it's a reminder that even when the world as we know it ends, there's always hope for a new beginning.
Absolutely. Okay, let's shift gears for our second apocalyptic probe.
Bring it on.
This one is a flash fiction story called Detention of the Damned, and it drops us right into the heart of a zombie apocalypse.
Zombies. Okay, I'm intrigued.
But the setting is brilliant. It all takes place in a high school that's been turned into this barricaded fortress.
Oh, wow. A high school is a stronghold. That's an interesting twist.
And here's the best part. Their survival depends on using everything they learned in class.
No way. So all those classes they thought were useless suddenly become survival skills.
Exactly. What are your initial thoughts on that premise?
I love it. It's a brilliant way to subvert the typical high school tropes. Suddenly, the jocks and cheerleaders aren't the ones with the upper hand. It's the nerds and geeks who hold the keys to survival.
Totally. And it all kicks off in the most ironic place imaginable, biology class. Forget dissecting frogs. The school janitor suddenly comes back to life as a zombie, and chaos erupts.
Oh, no. That's everyone's worst nightmare come true.
Right. But guess who steps up with the most pragmatic zombie survival advice? Marcus, the class slacker, the guy who's always on the verge of detention.
Seriously, the kid who probably never paid attention in class is suddenly the zombie expert.
He shouts, "Aim for the brain," laying down the fundamental rule of zombie survival right there in room 212.
I guess all those hours of watching zombie movies finally paid off.
What does Marcus's unexpected reaction tell you about, how we might underestimate certain people?
It highlights how sometimes the individuals we least expect to be prepared can actually rise to the occasion in a crisis. Marcus might have seemed like a slacker, but his knowledge of zombie pop culture gave him a crucial advantage in a real-life zombie apocalypse.
It's so true, and the initial reactions of the other students are so telling. Maya, the academic superstar, suddenly finds that her complex equations and perfect grades don't offer much protection against the undead.
I guess theoretical knowledge doesn't always translate to practical skills.
And Chad, the star athlete, well, his football tackles aren't exactly effective against creatures driven by pure hunger.
I bet he wishes he'd paid more attention in those health classes about anatomy and the nervous system.
What does this contrast, between their expected strengths and the reality of this situation, what does that highlight for you?
It's a commentary on the limitations of traditional measures of success and ability. When the world is turned upside down, different skills become valuable. It reminds us to be adaptable, to recognize that what's important in one context might be completely irrelevant in another.
And then we meet Olivia, the quiet, often overlooked girl who spends most of her time in the library.
The introverted bookworm. I bet she comes in handy.
She does. She's the one who starts making these Chillingly accurate observations about the zombies, their sensitivity to light, their reactions to sound.
So it's the quiet observer who holds the key to understanding these creatures.
What's the significance of Olivia being the one to offer these crucial insights?
It emphasizes the importance of keen observation and critical thinking. Olivia's quiet nature, which might have been seen as a disadvantage in the normal high school setting, becomes a valuable asset in this new world. It reminds us to appreciate the unique strengths of each individual and to recognize that sometimes the most valuable insights come from those who listen and observe carefully.
And soon enough, the library, usually a haven of peace and quiet, becomes their fortified bunker. They barricade the windows with stacks of textbooks, using knowledge as their shield.
It's like the library transforms into a literal fortress of knowledge. I love the symbolism.
And their classroom learning starts to be applied in incredibly practical ways. Their chemistry knowledge helps them create makeshift weapons and defenses. Marcus probably wishes he'd paid more attention in those lab experiments now.
I bet. It goes to show that you never know when a seemingly useless piece of information might come in handy.
What does this repurposing of academic knowledge, turning theory into practice, tell you about the potential value of education?
It shows that learning in all its forms can empower us. Even those subjects we might think are irrelevant can provide us with the tools and knowledge we need to face unexpected challenges. It's a reminder that education is about more than just memorizing facts. It's about developing critical thinking skills, problem-solving abilities, and the ability to adapt to new situations.
And they're not just using chemistry, they turn gym equipment into weapons, drawing on those history debates to figure out how to ration their dwindling food supplies.
So everything they learned, even the seemingly mundane stuff, suddenly has a purpose.
And they even use high school gossip as an early warning system for approaching threats.
Who knew those whispers in the hallway could actually save lives?
Right. It's like every piece of information they've absorbed, every interaction, suddenly becomes crucial to their survival. What's the overall message there for you?
It highlights the interconnectedness of knowledge, how seemingly disparate pieces of information can come together to provide solutions in a crisis. It also suggests that every experience, even those we might consider trivial, can shape our understanding of the world and prepare us for the unexpected.
The story doesn't shy away from the harsh realities, though. Chad, the overconfident jock, gets bitten and doesn't make it. And Mrs. Henderson, their teacher, sacrifices herself to give the rest of the students time to escape.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. It's a reminder that even in these fantastical scenarios, there are real consequences and real losses.
These losses seem to galvanize the remaining students. Their teenage angst is replaced by a steely determination to survive. What's the impact of those moments of loss on the group's dynamic?
It forces them to grow up quickly, to confront the fragility of life and the importance of working together. They realize that their petty high school dramas are insignificant in the face of a real threat, and they find a new sense of purpose in protecting one another.
And then Maya, who initially felt useless because her academic knowledge wasn't helping, she makes a crucial discovery. She notices that the old minutes from the gardening club, with their detailed notes about fertilizer composition, strangely mirror the patterns of the zombie horde's movement.
Wait, what? Gardening notes and zombies? How does that even work?
I know, right? It's a brilliant connection. It turns out the zombies are drawn to certain chemicals in the fertilizer.
So their weakness lies in something totally unexpected.
This leads them to a daring plan involving the school greenhouse, which is full of fertilizer.
Oh, this is getting good. They're going to use their knowledge of plants to fight zombies.
It's incredibly risky, but also ingenious. What's the significance of this connection between gardening and zombie behavior?
It emphasizes the importance of interdisciplinary thinking, of making connections between seemingly unrelated fields. It shows that insights can come from unexpected sources, and that even hobbies or interests that might seem frivolous can hold valuable knowledge.
The greenhouse battle sounds chaotic. This group of unlikely heroes armed with spray bottles filled with concoctions based on their understanding of the nitrogen cycle, trying to disrupt the zombies' hive mind. And the once quiet Olivia is now leading the charge with a newfound confidence.
It's amazing how they've transformed, using their intellect and resourcefulness to fight back.
What does that unexpected scientific approach to fighting zombies tell you about the power of knowledge and innovation?
It demonstrates that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, we can use our understanding of the world, our scientific knowledge, to find solutions. It highlights the power of creativity and innovation, of thinking outside the box and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And their plan works.
They defeated the zombies,
While not completely, the Horde is still out there, a constant threat. But their attack disorients the zombies, making them less aggressive. It's a small victory, but a crucial one.
A glimmer of hope in a world of darkness.
What's the significance of this partial victory?
It shows that even small victories can have a huge impact, that even when facing overwhelming odds, we can make a difference. It's a reminder to never give up hope, to keep fighting, even when the future seems uncertain.
The story ends with the world still in ruins, the threat still looming, but these survivors have found a new strength and purpose in their unexpected skills. And the irony isn't lost. Marcus, the slacker who barely passed chemistry, and Olivia, the quiet girl who always paid attention, they become the unlikely heroes of this new world.
It's a beautiful testament to the power of human potential, of how even the most overlooked individuals can rise to the occasion and make a difference.
What's the final message you take away from this story?
It's a reminder that heroism can come from unexpected places and that every individual has something valuable to contribute. It encourages us to look beyond surface appearances and recognize the hidden potential in ourselves and those around us. And it reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope, ingenuity, and the human spirit can prevail.
Wow. Two incredible apocalyptic probes into these wild end-of-the-world scenarios. Who knew a Mayan god of death or a zombie apocalypse could bring out the hero in a swashbuckling legend and a group of high school misfits?
Right, it just goes to show that you never know what you're capable of until you're put to the test.
It makes you think what skills or knowledge that we take for granted might become essential in a real-life crisis.
You got that right.
Ah.
Maybe those late-night gaming sessions, that weird hobby you have, could actually save the day.
So, what aspects of these flash fiction stories resonated most with you? What kind of unlikely heroes do you imagine might emerge in a real-life apocalypse? These tales are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the amazing places where strength and ingenuity can be found.
Absolutely. They remind us that even when the world falls apart, humanity finds a way to endure and even thrive. It's inspiring, really.
Thanks for joining us for this action-packed edition of the Just Nuke Bits podcast. Don't forget to rate and follow for more captivating stories. Now go ponder what your high school detention hall might become in a zombie outbreak.
Until next time.